What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. We are still on 10.69.2.3. We are waiting for the 10.69.3 update, which Elon said is actually a pretty big update, but they left 10.69 because it's funny and just added the 0.3, so, you know, whatever. The only thing he's really talked about is that it'll be much better at detecting cross traffic. We don't know what else is coming, although he's talking a lot about actually smart summon, meaning big improvements to smart summon are coming. No details on that, but it's probably using the occupancy networks and the neural net that we have with beta, which would be massive and awesome. So heading today, I have a pretty decent drive. You can see here, 43 minutes, 26 miles. This should pretty much be all off highway, maybe some dirt roads even, I'm not sure. And I'm gonna try to let beta do this whole thing. So it's raining. I've had a lot of requests for rain, and we're just getting into fall here. You can see it's really cold. And actually the power at my house is off right now, and a lot of you probably know I have power walls, which is why we got them, because our power goes out all the time. Well, we had some electricians over working on, we're finishing our basement. They're working on, you know, putting the lights in and stuff, and so I had turned the power walls off just so that I didn't have to worry about it. Well, if the power goes out while the power walls are off, then they don't work when you turn them back on. They need some kind of, you know, message from the grid to know what's going on. And yeah, you can jump them. I learned from Jeremy Judkins, and I might be doing that if the power's still out when I go home. But yeah, that's super annoying. So anyway, you can already see here, full self-driving may be degraded, poor weather detected. You get that message often now on full self-driving beta. Sometimes it affects the performance, sometimes it does not. So first roundabout here, and a little bit of hard stopping. The car is kind of sketch with roundabouts right now, so that was actually really good. Are you gonna wait for this person? Yes, you are. And it does wait for them. It just went a little fast towards them, so you could see he kind of second guessed, like, were we gonna wait or not? And then it almost started to go there as well. And as soon as this person's out of the way, okay, so it does move forward. So yeah, just a little bit of awkwardness, but actually handled very, very well. If you end up enjoying this video, please hit like and get subscribed. Let's get on with the drive. All right, now we got our 35 ends here, and the car doesn't know what that means. So I need to intervene here, and I need to change the speed. It's actually 55, and I change it up to 60, so that's an intervention. I had to help the car there. I guess I didn't technically have to, but I'm not going 35 into 55, that's for sure. All right, coming up to the stop, looking good. Going 60 with the rain, wet roads, was handled all very well. Now, if you watch my last video, I did talk about a problem I had in the rain the other day. Unfortunately, I was not recording, so I didn't have any in-car footage, so a really nice job here. Big takeoff, which is good to get out of the way of any fast approaching traffic. I have seen twice now where the road had a reflection in it of something like a road closed sign, and then the car reacted to that as if it was there. So kind of like an illusion, like a mirage. It was kind of interesting to see. Like even the occupancy network on screen here was showing that there was something in the way, and the car tried to drive around that. So we'll see if we encounter that today, if it's a common problem or I just happened to stumble across something like that. Of course, I pressed the report button, so hopefully that'll get fixed soon. But yeah, so we have our unprotected left coming up here. No traffic. Sometimes we got some cars here, sometimes we don't. The car usually takes this one a little wide. We'll see how it does today. Yeah, so I would call that a tiny bit wide. No big deal. I mean, we get in the lane and everything. But this is another time where the speed limit is actually 55. So I'm going to up it. I'll leave it at 55 because of the rain here. But yeah, so here we go. Continuing on. So we got our stop right here. The car is doing a nice job slowing. Cross traffic's going very fast, 50 to 60 miles per hour, and we're going straight across. So we're creeping. We can go actually. Wow. That was actually really good. So there was a car to our left. I'm sorry I can't put the roof cam on because it's not waterproof. But there was a car to our left approaching, but they were turning right. And I guess the car could tell either from the turn signal, which I do not think it uses for decisions yet, or from the, I'm going to slow down for the dirt here, from the velocity, how they were slowing coming towards the intersection, that it was a good time to go. So that was actually great. I mean, it detected that car to the left and still moved through the intersection. So it feels really good. All right, approaching our right turn, pretty much perfect on the dirt roads there. That was all really good. We were stuck behind a slow car, unfortunately. But before that, we were going about 40, and previously Beta couldn't make it much above 30. It'd really be stuck at like 25 to 30 on dirt roads. So we're clear here, and the car sees that. And it was kind of annoying for me. I actually would pretty much never use Beta on dirt roads. I actually still don't usually, just because I like to drive a bit faster, and it's just easier for me to drive on the dirt roads. But now it's at the point where I actually don't mind it, and sometimes I will use Beta on the dirt, as you're seeing here, because it can go, I've gone as much as 55 on dirt roads, which is the speed limit on most of them, and the car handles it just fine. Even with traffic coming at you and everything, it's really no big deal. So that's a huge improvement from what it used to be, where it like would struggle to get much above 25 or 30. And then we will continue here to this left turn. It's all pretty clear and blank, and you know, the car routed this way because there was a lot of traffic on the highway. So we're skipping all that, which is really nice, and it's why I'm kind of taking you on this drive, because you know, if it's all highway, then it's not much Beta and not much exciting. So we'll let it complete this left here. Very nice. I mean, really can't ask for much more. It's really getting to the point where you can make it A to B with minimal, you know, engagement with the car quite often. I still often have, you know, little accelerator taps here and there, but really nothing that's that big of a deal. So the system is just getting so good. I don't see, besides like maybe delaying, you know, version 11 or the highway stack or some of these things, I'm not sure why they would not get this to wide release by the end of the year, because it's just come such a long way, and it's so reliable and so kind of predictable that it's much safer than it used to be. All right, so another one with some pretty decent cross traffic, and the person in front of us wants to turn left. Not sure how they or the car are going to handle this. So looks like both directions are clear, and they are letting me go. And we did make it through there. So we got a little burst there for a second, and we did have a car coming from the right. They were going pretty quick. So I'm not sure if Beta saw them or not, but the road to the right was kind of bent. It was a bending road, and so you can't see them until they come around that bend. So even if I was driving, it really couldn't have been too much better than that. And then kind of like a quick double turn here. So we'll make our stop at the stop sign. There's no line, of course, because it's a dirt road, but stops at the stop sign, nicely pulls through that right turn, and then immediately puts the left blinker on, hitting a bunch of holes here, which is, you know, pretty standard. And again, handled beautifully. I mean, this is crazy. Like on dirt roads in the rain, visibility is pretty good despite the rain. And all the cameras stay pretty clean. So besides the rear camera you can see is super dirty. But the repeater cameras, like in my Model 3, they would actually get more water on them than the Model Y. So my Model 3 was a 2018. I don't know what they changed. But yeah, there's definitely something different about the way water runs past these cameras, because it doesn't really get on them. The car set the speed to 55. I'm actually going to lower that. It's just a little too fast for me in the rain. You can see the car's doing it, and it's handling it okay, even with, you know, this traffic here. But yeah, we'll call that an intervention as well, because I mean, I did change the speed. If it was dry, I would have left it, but yeah, in the rain, it's just a little too fast for me. All right, here's a busy four-way stop. So at least cross traffic is not going fast, and it's a four-way. So I'm the last one here. So I got the GM across, and then this car, and then I think the guy to our right was here first. Come on, Tesla. Wow, it's being really aggressive. Usually it's the, okay, that was our turn, and that guy cut us off. Usually it's the opposite problem. The Tesla is too timid. I'll report it just because that was a pretty good scenario, just so they have that data. But wow, pretty interesting, because yeah, usually my problem is the Tesla doesn't want to go when it's its turn, and it actually was gonna, you know, cut off the person before us. So, but it still felt really good. Like, it negotiated with the people around it and everything, so handled fine. I actually think it was okay, especially with the guy taking our turn away from us. Yeah, that was pretty good. So a pretty interesting little thing here. The road curves to the left, but we want to go straight. I've done this before with Beta. It usually handles it pretty well. And puts on the right turn signal, which is cool. Actually, the person behind us did too. I'm not sure. I think I would just drive through that. I'm not sure if you need to do that or not. But non-standard little thing there for Beta to do, and handled it perfectly well. All right, so it's normal for this four-way stop to get very backed up. So I don't take this route very often, but when I do, I normally don't even give beta the chance to do this because I just don't want to be in the way. Like even here, I'm like, oh my gosh, get up there, go. I just, don't want to make this take any longer than it already does for everybody. So let's see how it does here. Get my hand on there. And then it needs to go. It's doing it very slow, very slow. Okay, so I had to take over there. So that's what happens when beta is just too timid. It gets confused, and so does the people around it, and then you have stuff like that where it's just too close. And beta was really going for it. I mean, it wasn't accelerating or anything. It was just felt like it was kind of coasting, but just too much. I obviously needed to take over there. So a disengagement and a pretty substantial one. So it's pretty strange that at that last intersection that was also full, the last four-way stop, I mean, beta handled it like perfectly. And then at this one, I don't know if it's because the cars are farther apart or what's going on, but it just was not able to handle that situation that time. Well, I was thinking of leaving the audio on for a bit as we approach this stop sign because the rain sounds nice, but you got all these loud gas cars. Wow, look at that guy. Talk about rolling the stop sign. So it is our turn, and boom. So like that time it did it so perfectly. All right, coming up to an empty roundabout. Let's see. Very hit or miss. We're slowing far too much for this already. Okay, car corrected that. And, hey, moving right through. So this exact roundabout, sometimes it'll try to stop at the yield for me. Sometimes it'll go into the roundabout and then kind of stop in the roundabout. And this is with cars, without cars. I mean, it's just, there's not much consistency to roundabouts. I have noticed that the 69.2.3 does seem to be a bit better, let's say percentage-wise, so a higher percentage of roundabouts are handled correctly, but you'll still get that weird behavior sometimes. So that time was perfect. Really couldn't have been any better there. All right, so we're just about to finish up here. Pretty much all of that, I mean, all of that was done by beta. I did nothing, I just hung out, keeps asking for my hand on the wheel, blah, blah, blah. So in this drive at least, which I do take this route sometimes, occasionally, the rain didn't seem to have much of an effect at all. Beta actually performed very well. I think we had the 3 interventions, which I always have. Their speed limit changes. I always change the speed limit though when I'm not filming a video, but of course for the video I'm not gonna do that. And so I changed the speed 3 times, which are interventions, so I didn't need the pedal at all, which is my biggest intervention normally. And we had the one big disengagement at the 4-way stop where there was confusion with the person, and beta seemed like it still wanted to go, even though they were also going. So we'll take this final right turn, but the stats are up. You can check those out. Very good, very impressive. Beta is just getting so much better. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just come such a far way. Moving over here, right turn. unmarked, slow. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. I look forward to talking to you down in the comments, and you will see me in Full Self-Driving Beta in the next video.